This is the Maverick, and today I'm starting the first of a two-part video on social justice. You've probably seen my last video on justice as a philosophy, but social justice is about creating, well, just like it says, justice in the social sense. You have income inequality, racial inequality. Supposedly, with all of these inequalities, social justice is a movement to try to correct all of these inequalities. With these two videos, I'm going to try to determine if social justice works and give you my opinion. But we have two pictures here. One is about the construction of social justice. You have justice and social in big words there, and then you have a lot of smaller other words surrounding it. And if you read over that, that's how social justice really works. Empowering people, constraining rights, trying to create equality, religious restrictions, possibly. It's just lots of problems with social justice, but I'm going to go over those now. So, when it comes to social justice, there are a lot of people that have good intentions or a philosophy that sounds nice. Like when someone says they want equality for women or equality for blacks or income equality, bringing more people out of poverty, that sounds really good. I mean, how many people don't want to lift the poor out of poverty? How many people don't want us all to be equals? I think that's pretty stable, but Social justice is usually an absolute disaster. I found something kind of funny about communism, which is what social justice will inevitably lead to. That was the whole thing with communism, was eventually workers would be exploited so much that they would rise up against supposedly their corporate masters and run the state. Then what you get is a dictator. You get a dictator that takes the reins on everything and creates way more exploitation than there was before. That's why I actually support capitalism, because in capitalism you work for a cow and you get a cow from a guy who has more cows than you and needs to give away a few cows, but he needs a few favors done first. In communism, you have two cows. The state takes both and gives you some milk. And that's what social justice turns into. If people want social justice, they'll then turn to communism. And that's what we get is people just saying, and people have said this forever, by the way, that basically it can be done correctly, just nobody that's ever done it has ever done it right. You look at a modern example of North Korea, or you can look at the USSR, or you can look at Cuba. Communism does not work. Social justice is individualism, people. It's what it's about. Individual people creating their own choices, being allowed to make their own choices. It's not whether the state can help out, it's whether the state protects your rights to help yourself. If everybody has a common purpose, that's what it's about. It's not something that's going to work if you have to have it. It's whether you choose to have it. And when several people choose to join each other in a common purpose, their common purpose will be fulfilled. If everybody, through no forcefulness, but through their own choice, had a common purpose to create a form of social justice would come about because we decided it would. That's I'll explain more on social justice next time, and I'll explain it in terms of here's the good of individual, here's the cons of individualism, here's the good of collectivism, and here's the bad of it. And then they do share some in common. I'll tell you about all of this when I have the time to. Thanks, this is the Maverick, and get learning.